Hi everyone. In this video, we will be looking into a game between Grandmaster Thomas Banos and Grandmaster Pragg from round 3 of FIDE Chess Olympiad 2024 between Hungary B team and India. Let's jump right into the game. Thomas Banos, starting with the white pieces, go for 1, knight to f3. Pragg replies with d5, g3, c5, bishop to g2, knight to f6. Banos goes for castle, e6, d3, knight to c6, a4, bishop to e7, bishop to f4, bishop to d6, bishop takes on d6, queen takes on d6, knight on b to d2, e5, e4, d4, knight to c4, queen to c7, c3, bishop to g4, h3, bishop takes on f3, bishop takes on f3. Pragg goes for castling, queen to b3, g6, a5, queen to e7, king to g2, h5, h4, rook on a to b8, rook on f to c1, rook on f to d8, bishop to e2, knight to e8, knight to d2, knight to c7, knight to f3, knight to e6, rook to a4, b5, 8 takes on b6 and pass and move, rook takes on b6, queen to a2, rook on d to b8, rook to c2, a5, knight to d2, rook to b5, bishop to f1, queen to f6, knight to f3, king to g7, bishop to e2, queen to e7, bishop to f1, queen to b7, queen to d5, c4, queen takes on c4, rook to c5, queen to a2. So if you look at this position after 34 moves, Praggnanandhaa is having a slight advantage of minus 1.9. And here, Praggnanandhaa will take an advantage of a pin and he will play a brilliant move which is knight to b4, forking both the rook and the queen. The idea is that he cannot go ahead and capture the knight with a pawn that will hang up his rook. And if he go up and capture with the rook, and this is completely winning for Praggnanandhaa. So he takes advantage of the pin over here. Thomas Banos, he continues with c takes on b4, rook takes on c2, knight takes on e5, queen to e7, queen to b1, queen to c7, rook takes on a5, queen takes on b4, rook to a2, rook on b to b7, knight to c4, rook to a7, queen to a1, queen to b8, rook takes on a7, rook takes on a7, queen to d1, queen to a8, queen to f3, rook to a1, bishop to e2, queen to a2, knight to d6, knight to d8, king to h2, queen to b1, king to h3, queen to h1 with check, queen takes on h1, rook takes on h1 with check, king to g2, rook to e1, bishop to f1, knight to c6, knight to c4, knight to b4, f4, f6, king to f2, rook to d1, e5, f5. So if you look at this position after 55 moves, Praggnanandhaa was having an early advantage, but he has given up the advantage and the match is again back to balance. So the right continuation here for Thomas Banos is putting the bishop to e2 and holding the fort, but instead he will move the bishop to g2 and this is a mistake by him, and now Praggnanandhaa is having a winning advantage of minus 3.9 and he continues with rook takes on d3 and they are heading into a game and Praggnanandhaa is already up a pawn, bishop to f3, knight to a6, bishop to e2, rook to b3, bishop to d1, rook to b4, b3, knight to c5, knight to d2, knight to e4 with check, king to e1, knight takes on g3. Now Praggnanandhaa is already up on 2 pawns, knight to c4, knight to e4. And it was in this position after 63 moves into the game. Thomas Banos has resigned the game to Praggnanandhaa as this is heading into an endgame and Praggnanandhaa is already up on 2 pawns and this is an easy endgame victory for Praggnanandhaa.